Hello, welcome to Movie Reviews with Michael Soren. With me, Michael Soren. Should have been South to Normal with me, Michael Soren. Flubs happen. What are you gonna do? Today we're gonna talk about the overall season series of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Some dirty work that's got to be done. Hit the subscribe button. Leave me some comments. Give me some likes. Let me know what's going on with you in the comments. Love to talk to you. But here we go. Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't know if it's the series. I don't know if it's the season. Hopefully it's the season. I want more. This series was amazing. I had expectations here. They went here with it. Can't even see. Off the charts good. Because the way it was billed in all the previews, it made you think he's watching Luke the whole time. And then he gets captured or something with Vader. I was so happy that, yes, Luke is in it as a child, but they went with Leia as the kid. Leia's story and how, more of her backstory. Because we know Luke's story. We know where it goes from here and where it ends. We know. We also know Leia's story from here and where it ends. But we didn't know much before it here with Leia. I mean, there's other stuff. There's other media where they cover Leia's, origins and all that. But it was nice to see them use her instead of Luke. Because Luke's gotten so much more attention than her. But the series starts with Kenobi mundanely working, cutting up this meat. And episode 1 is it's slow, it's boring, it's monotonous. And it's done, I believe, in a way to make you feel what Kenobi's going through, what he's trying to achieve in life for the past, I think it's 10 years is the time frame. This is what he's been doing to lay low, to survive, to just... It's almost like penance for creating Luke, he thinks Anakin's dead. He doesn't know about Darth Vader yet in the beginning. It's penance. He knows Jedi are outlawed and being hunted. He kind of feels responsible for that because of his help with the Empire in the prequels, because he did work for the Empire. It's just the fact of the matter. He was on the winning side, but ended up being the losing side. But the series just jumps from there. Cause Leia gets kidnapped in a plan to draw out Kenobi, because in a database somewhere they're linked. That's the thing with this series that's revealed, is there's so much knowledge. How Luke wasn't discovered with the same database and features, linking them. Maybe because Bail Organa was a senator and Uncle Owen was a farmer, on Tatooine, which, what the hell? Everything happens on Tatooine. Why is so much shit happen on Tatooine when it's in the outskirts? It's not in any database. It's just planet, they kind of know about, but they know nothing else about, and it's never on anyone's radar. But from there, Obi-Wan gets tasked by Bail Organa to save Leia. He goes on this journey to save Leia. He gets her, he loses her, he gets her, he loses her type deal. It's a powerful series. It's a story we needed, because Obi-Wan was mythical from A New Hope, and the prequels gave you his origin. And then you're like, what happened between the prequels and A New Hope? What did he do? You didn't hear about it until now. And it was so, Deborah Chow did such a fantastic job with this series. It is, I'd say dark. I don't mean hard to watch. I mean, actually dark. I had to turn the brightness up several times just to see what was going on in scenes. Maybe that's a calibration thing on my equipment. I don't know. But the downfall of the series is there's several coincidental things that happen, like Bail Organa sending that message that then falls into Reva's hands, and you're just like, little convenient there. Little, what's going on? And then the whole Reva story kind of fizzles out and turns out into like this throwaway thing to get Obi-Wan back on Tatooine, as revealed in this past episode. God, it's the eyes. But yeah, this series was so good. They brought back the more Star Wars classic music, or high orchestral music, seeming like that to me. That's a huge part of why Star Wars was successful, was the music. It was nice to have that music back. And the heavy story, the heavy emotions tied with like Anakin and Obi-Wan, which they brought Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen back for, with thank you. Despite what I feel about the prequels and Hayden Christensen's acting, thank you for making sure he was part of it, and not because it's very important to keep that continuity. They bring them back, and they have those two characters have such a volatile story, and it's just captured beautifully in this series. And the fight sequences between them are so heavy with emotion. So they're not this stylistic prequel fights where everyone's doing flips and parkour moves, and it's just, I'm trying to kill you because that is the rage I'm having. And they made Vader so strong yet so weak in this series. The final fight between them in part 6, oh my God, will blow your mind. Go watch that. Check out my take on that in the other video. But the emotions in it, the way the character, it tells this complete story, and just the physicality of it, the brutality of the fight is so good. I loved it, and needed to happen. And they needed to fight it out. They needed to get all these emotions worked out. And I'm glad that it was a more heavy-hitting physical fight, not a stylistic sparring type fight where, like, think of the Yoda fight in the prequels where he's fighting Dooku and all he does is like flip around, and then it's like, that's not fighting. That's just, I can do this with a computer. Like, no. This was, we're going at it. We're as I said, there's the whole Reva storyline where she was a youngling that Anakin didn't slaughter, and now she is out for revenge, and you think it's against all the Jedi, but in reality she has a plan, like, I'm going to capture Obi-Wan, it's going to bring Vader to me, and then I'm going to kill Vader. And that story doesn't pan out for her, because Vader was in on it the whole time. He realized her plan, and he used her to get Kenobi. But one thing that's made evidently clear in this series is, if you're going to fight a Jedi, make sure they stab you in the stomach, because you'll be fine. If they slash you in the stomach, cut you in half, you're fine. Don't get shot. That'll kill you. Don't blow yourself up. Just have a Jedi stab you in the stomach. You'll be fine within a matter of minutes. I want a season 2. I want a one-off movie of some sort. I want more from this series. Where are they going to go? You say they don't have much road to run on because A New Hope's coming. You can't do too much and break canon and all that. But there's story to be had more. And I feel they could do a one-off movie or like a 2-episode special, something more. Because Vader needs to realize who his kids are, because he learns that somewhere. He does. Well, I want to know where. I want to know when he figures it out. I want to see that. And Obi-Wan at the end of this meets Ghost Qui-Gon Jinn. Like, it finally happens. If it didn't happen, I think we would have had riots in the street. And he tells him there's much to learn. There's some story there. You don't have to worry about Luke and Leia. We know where they're going. We know what's going to happen with them. But overall, this was I ranked this higher than Mandalorian, and Mandalorian was a great series. Book of Boba Fett was not so much. It was good, but it just felt, it was just something was off about it. But Obi-Wan was, it's the series we deserved. We needed it, and we wanted it, and we got what we wanted because we deserved it, and it was such a good story. It was such a good series. Yes, it has its fault. The Reva story, like I said. Then there's the Kamal, I forget his last name, the comedian. He's in it just to be in it. It was kind of like, why? Just cast someone else, spend less money. I don't care who you are. You're not like doing anything. Maybe he pays off in Andor. Maybe he pays off somewhere down the line. Same with Osei Jackson. Like, great. What? Thanks for being here. All you've done is whine and tell me what we can't do. Maybe you pay off later. Maybe this was just getting you in the Rebel Alliance for future work. Another weird thing, just thinking of, because what's next is A New Hope. And you watch this, and it's just unfortunate that we're almost 50 years removed from A New Hope. Because you look at the lightsabers specifically, and how vibrant and just like the colors are, how vibrant they are in this series. And then you're going to go to A New Hope where it's not as good quality because they got the faded blue and all that. But it's just it's 50 years ago. So I got to set that prejudice aside. Or maybe they can explain, like, oh, the lightsabers, the colors are fading because the crystals are fading, or their powers are waning, or something. I don't know. But again, in this series, they bring in Darth Vader, and he is just, the way they display how powerful he is because of the anger and that emotion behind it is so good. And it shows how weak he is also because he loses in the end. Because Obi-Wan stopped focusing on his failures and wallowing in his defeat and realizing there's hope. I got these two kids whom I can ensure don't suffer like their father, because that's part of Anakin's story is his mom was a slave. He suffered that loss of his mother to the Tuscans, and the fact that his mother was a slave and sold and traded around, and he had this hatred in him because of that. But now his kids don't have to have that. His kids can have a life as kids and be better off. And Obi-Wan uses that to gain more power than Vader to beat him in this epic battle that we just saw. And then the whole heavy scene where the Vader's helmet is split open and Obi-Wan tries to talk to Anakin, and Vader just looks at him like, he's dead. He's not your failure. I killed him. And then Obi-Wan just is like, I'm letting it go. I have to. And he moves on. And then Vader is still consumed by this rage, and you can see the control Palpatine has over him, because yes, Palpatine shows up in this, so much Palpatine in this universe, because Palpatine's like, how about we don't focus on that? And Vader's just like, you're right, not focusing on it anymore, gone. It's like that control he has over Vader is just crazy. But as a series, Obi-Wan Kenobi is well worth sitting down, pressing play on part 1, and not stopping until part 6. My favorite episodes were 4 and 6. I can't decide which one I like better. 4's story, there was a lot of visual storytelling in 4 and a lot of figuring things out for Obi-Wan and 4. Like, 5 was it served the purpose of episode 5 was to get to episode 6, and it wasn't. There's a lot of needless exposition in part 5. It's still a great story. It's still a great episode. It's just there's a lot of needless exposition and a lot of like convenience things that happen. I have very little negative to say about this series. Yes, it could be because it's playing right into my nostalgia center and it's just giving me this endorphin rush and masking things. That could be a case. I don't think so, because this series was phenomenal. I don't know if anyone who's not into Star Wars would like it as a standalone series. I'm trying to get some people who I know aren't into Star Wars to check it out and test that assumption. But check it out over on Disney Plus. Let me know what you think. You can also hear my thoughts on the Holdo Maneuver podcast. Link in the description. Obi-Wan Kenobi, well worth it. 4 stars. Hell, maybe 5. Trying to think. It's 4 for sure. That Reva storyline and how it just kind of fizzles out kind of brings it away from a 5th star. But I'm tempted to give it. I'll give it 4.5. I'll end on 4.5. There, you browbeat me down. But check it out. Let me know what you think. Thank you for tuning in. Peace.